Good evening. Welcome. Here is today's news wrap and updates from the White House and beyond. Today is President Biden full day back at the White House after 2 weeks vacation in California and Rehoboth Beach. Even though the president was presumably on vacation, he was still working, delivering for the American people. Yesterday, the president traveled to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he campaigned with Vice President Kamala Harris. Yesterday was the Labor Day event in the U.S. and the president joined. Yesterday was their first joint campaign event together, and the president will pledge that he will continue to show his support and commitment to campaign for, along with the vice president, and campaign with her through now and November 5th. So back to the full day event today at the White House. The president spoke at a White House event investing in American series, kicking off a month-long, several weeks event that will take place in the following weeks, where he will travel across the country to speak with Americans, to tell Americans what he has done, how he has delivered for America in the last 3.5 years plus during his presidency. Today, the president highlighted in his remarks some of the deliverables from his administration, including removing lead pipe to improve drinking waters in public school, as well as in several homes in underserved communities. Also, he highlighted investment in American infrastructure, from building new roads and rebuilding roads and bridges. Also, how the administration has improved the life of so many Americans, including especially for seniors, by cutting prescription prices for American senior. So those are just some of what highlighted today at today's event. The mayor of Birmingham, Alabama, also spoke during that event, thanking the president for how he has delivered for American people and allowing mayors, as well states and local governments across the U.S. to be able to put their citizens, their residents, the people first in their agenda. The mayor also highlighted how there has been a boost in employment, as well as in wages for the Alabamans, people in Alabama. Also, he highlighted the significant improvement through the for small business owners, especially for women. So the president this week will be traveling to Wisconsin. Tomorrow he will travel to Wisconsin, and later this week he will travel to Michigan, as I mentioned at the top, to meet with Americans and show the receipt, as they say, of what he pledged when he was running for office, how he said he would deliver for Americans, and what and how he has kept his promise. The president, in his remarks, noted that America, of all countries, when they came into office, it was during the pandemic, when the global economic was at war, and since then America has recovered. It's the only country of the advanced economic that have fully recovered. And as the president said in his remarks today, America is the only country that came out of crisis better than when it entered. The White House today also commented on the press secretary, Karen Jean-Pierre, commented on the President Putin visit to Mongolia, current visit, and he said we are aware that the White House is aware of the visit, and we don't believe any country should give Putin a platform to continue his as a platform to promote his war of aggression against Ukraine. We have been clear that those responsible must be held accountable. And they call that we expect Mongolia to adhere to the principle of the UN Charter, including respecting sovereignty and integrity. And this principle must be upheld across the world. The in the ICC, the UN court, currently has a warrant out for President Putin for his aggression against Ukraine, as well as specifically for taking Ukraine children, young children, from their country, kidnapping young children, Ukrainian children from their country, and moving them to Russia. So the Russian president is visiting Mongolia right now. As our audience, we remember, we reported on this during the BRIC summit in South Africa, where it was not the President Putin wasn't allowed to attend the event because of the warrant that was issued out. Now, so moving to Africa. Today, the U.S. government announced through its USAID that it will invest $40 million based on congressional approval, that it will, pending on congressional approval, that it will invest $40 million in its Food Feed the Future program. This is a program that was launched several years ago to improve food security on the continent of Africa, actually across the world. So Africa is one of the focal area where this program significantly invest into improved food security, especially for women and their children. And so this new investment was announced today at the Africa Food System Forum that is taking place in Kigali in Rwanda, where leaders from across the country, as well as partners and stakeholders from across the world, gathered in this week, in the next couple of days, to talk about how to improve food security on the continent of Africa. Another announcement that was made today, the event kicked off today, and another announcement that was made today was from Norway government, and they have partnered with the U.S. government to invest. Each will invest $35 million each, a total of $70 million in food security, to improve food security on the African continent. And this will include investing in research and development, investing in soil development, investments in as well in grain, and in fertilizer. These are some of the programs, investment that the U.S. government have announced in the past couple of years to boost the food security on the continent of Africa. So this is a significant investment. It will formally be announced at the next month. It will formally be launched next month at the World Bank IMF meeting that will take place in mid-October of next month. So that said, and lastly, another story that we are following is this week, African leaders arrived in Beijing, China for the China Africa Forum that is taking place, that will kick off tomorrow, that will take place from September 4th through September 6th, which is expected that at least 50 plus African leaders will participate, including, and some of them have already arrived, the president of South Africa, the president of Nigeria, the president of Kenya, the president of Malawi, and the president of Tanzania, and their delegation are already on the ground, and they've held bilateral meeting with the Chinese government. And lastly, as I mentioned, President Biden will be on the road tomorrow, traveling to Wisconsin, and later on in the week, we travel to Michigan. Tomorrow we will bring you more updates on the mpox. Today there was an briefing that was scheduled for today, but it was postponed. The African CDC was postponed until tomorrow. The World Health Organization also will hold its press briefing on the progress of the mpox outbreak. Right now, we were told from last week, just to recap on what is going on, several investments as well as donations have been pledged from the U.S., from Japan, from the EU, as well as other countries. And currently, the World Health Organization have given the green light to Gavi, the vaccine maker, and UNICEF to start procuring vaccine from vaccine maker to begin inoculation of people across the continent, 12 countries that are affected by the mpox outbreak on the continent. So this wrap up our news from today. Thank you for watching. I am Kemi Oshikoya, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good night.